We're at the Aviation Museum down at Ronaldsway Airport ahead of the unveiling of a very special memorial garden. I'm with Ivor Ramsden, you're a director of the museum down here. Can you tell me a little bit about what we can see here?
Well, the garden is the result of a long wait, really. We got some funding from the Canadian Air Force in 2000 when we opened the museum, and we decided to sort of ring fence it and keep it towards a special memorial to the Canadian guys who were killed here in the Second World War. As a national group, they're the third largest number to have been killed here after the British and the Americans. So we decided that they aren't memorialised anywhere else on the island together, so it was up to us to do that, and this is the result.
And this isn't something that very many people are even aware of. I mean, we can see here that 28 Canadian airmen died in various accidents during the war.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a long time ago now, and at the time these crashes weren't publicised at all for propaganda reasons, and that nobody really found out about them. People knew that a plane had crashed, but they didn't know who the victims were. But the majority of these guys, 27 of the 28, are buried here on the island in either Andreas or Jerby churchyards. One of them went home to England. He was born in England but moved to Canada, and he went to England to be buried. So it's nice just to say thank you to these guys with this little memorial, and we surrounded it with a rather pleasant garden, which is sheltered from the winds which plague us at Ronaldsway, so it's a nice place for people to come and sit and maybe think about these guys or other people that they know who've lost their lives or been away to fight and suffered.
And as you say, people can come and sit and enjoy the garden, can't they? And you'll have a special guest, I believe, on Sunday to perform an official opening.
Yes, we've got a gentleman coming from the Canadian High Commission in London, Colonel Bigouette. He's the Air Force advisor to the High Commission. He's coming over on Saturday with his wife and family. He's expressed a desire to visit the graves of these 28 guys, so that's very nice of him. So 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, the grand unveiling should happen. So keep fingers crossed for the weather.
It's a lovely little garden. How did you get the funding for this, and who created it?
Well, the original funding came from Canadian Air Force, and as I say, we ring-fenced that to keep it on one side for this particular project. But the major funding really has come from Douglas Rotary Club. We're incredibly grateful to them. They came up with some good funding to pay for the plants and the lovely timber benches which are made on the island. None of your cheap imports here, the quality things. Individuals have donated. A couple of the local nurseries have donated. Greba nurseries particularly have been very, very generous to us. And we've had a little bit of help from people, but I've got to pay tribute to Mike Corlett from Laxey, who's done all the concrete work, the flagging, and a lot of the background work that people never really notice. All I did was dig holes in the ground and put plants in.
And as you say, I think it's quite appropriate to have it this year, isn't it? This unveiling in the year where we're looking at the anniversary of the start of the First World War.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a complete different story, which hopefully we'll be telling a bit more about in August. We've got a new exhibition covering the First World War opening in August. But I think people's minds are possibly a little bit more focused than normal on military, on conflict this year, and this is something perhaps which people would never think about if it wasn't for this memorial.